Okay. It's not me as much as it normally is. Who's squeaking? All right, so we sound good. All righty. We good to go, sir?
I believe so. We're unmuted on there and we can hear the squeak, so something's coming through.
Fantastic. Well, then I will call us to order at 7:04. I will open by saying that we had a very brief executive session for the purposes of what we call it, labor negotiations. I guess that's a fair statement. And we will move forward into our roll call and then pledge if we can.
So just a couple things. I'm gonna get closed caption going first.
Can you add Brooke as
Yeah, I'll get
a
her
panel?
in a second.
I'm gonna jump on myself as well,
Same here.
so I can see what people are saying.
Make sure captions here.
A little slow on our tech today because of that executive session, so I will take the heat for that.
So just give me a minute. I'm gonna add some participants.
This
Those of you who are in the room.
This is
Brooke, I'll add you.
why we should have had, I'm jumping in right now, so you should be able to jump here over a second. This is why we should have had a dunk tank, then people could have taken their frustration out on me then. So maybe next year.
So Jay, you're about to come in here. There, I see you.
Thank you.
And Mayor Cameron, I'll promote you as well.
Closed captions on. Okay.
Do you want to do roll call now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the room, we have Diane Law
Hello.
and Matt Castagna and
Present.
Valerie Renthaler.
Here.
And online, we have Deb Cassini Klein, I think she was with us earlier. And Brooke Richette Williams.
Here.
Andrea Datillo, she just stepped out the room. I hear her talking, so she'll be with us, I guess, shortly.
Okay, well, we've got 4 in the room. We've got a
Can you let her know that the meeting has started, please?
Here as well.
And the mayor is here as well. Sorry about the confusion, just. a lot of
As I said,
parts.
I will take the heat to the public as our executive session, while brief, kind of ran us into our normal prep time. And so as a result, we are a little less organized than we normally would be, and that will be my fault.
I'm
So,
gonna promote Deb as well. She's in as a panelist, so we'll move her.
okay,
over.
man, we had 2 seconds to jump in, then we'll rise to the pledge. I think rather than ever walk in the pledge, she's coming in. If not, then we'll
Yeah,
just.
she's coming.
Okay. I see Brooke rocking her Churchill shirt. I see you. She's coming. Why don't we rise to the pledge if you can? And it's becoming more and more challenging for me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States,
And States of America.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay. It is end of summer. School is gonna be starting. The kids get ready. Send them off to college, elementary school, and all in pre-K and all in between. See what the world brings us. So as we come back for another magical session, we begin with one of the most important parts of any governmental meeting, which is to hear from the public. Having said that, this is time for public comment. If you have a comment, and to be clear, so that people know there is no one in the room with us physically present today. So if there is somebody online who would like to comment, if you can raise your hand, at which time, as the button says, gives you the raise hand, at which time the manager will promote you, and then you will be free to speak for 3 minutes. If you can give your name and address. This is for residents and taxpayers. And then we are able to proceed. So having said that, I will look to our manager to see if anyone is in fact has a hand raised.
No.
Looks like a quiet day, okay? We do have one caller as well who's been promoted. So if that caller who shows to us as call-in user 1, I don't know who they actually are. If you wanted to come off mute and state your name and address, you have the opportunity to speak as well. Okay. Well, it sounds like today will be a quiet day. I'm not surprised in the ebb and flow of things that August ends up being, people are still on vacation doing lots of other things rather than coming to the meeting. I don't blame them one bit, and I'm sure most of us would love to be on a vacation wherever they are as well. So having said that, I'm going to close the public comment and move into ordinary action, starting with the minutes.
Okay, Mr. President, I move to accept the meeting minutes from the Monday, July 10, 2023 regular council meeting and the Monday, July 3rd, 2023 Borough Council workshop meeting. Oops.
Second?
Wait, what? I made a mistake because that meeting was
Yeah,
canceled.
I was going to say that would be an interesting.
So let's go back. There are no minutes for that meeting. Okay. Yes.
So this is solely for the purpose, you don't have to amend your motion is still open. So you don't have to amend your motion, is still open. So if you just want to change the language, you're fine to move forward.
Okay. All we have to do, I already did. I made a motion for the
July
the
10th,
workshop. Yeah, workshop.
2023 workshop. Is there a second to that?
Second?
Thank you. I'm pretending I didn't hear a second just quickly, that's FYI. Any discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And motion accepted without opposition. Moving on to the mayor's report, Mr. Mayor, if you would like to provide.
Thank you, Mr. President. Chief Ronald Ackley has reported to me that there was one critical and significant homicide incident during the month of July 2023. Our officers handled a total of 947 events. That gives us 1,165 to date, consisting of both calls for service and proactive patrol engagements and details, resulting in 3 arrests. I just, if I could throw this real clear, I talked to the chief the other day about the arrest, and that doesn't necessarily mean a physical arrest with handcuffs on. If it's a deliverer of legal papers, they consider that an arrest. The department's 5 police vehicles total of logged in a total of 3,635 miles this month. The year to date for the total mileage is 32,676. Chief Ronald Ackley has reported to me that the total amount of magisterial fines collected for the month of July 2023 was $987.86, giving us a total of $6,097.98. The ticket summary for the month of July 23 was 49,000 non-traffic tickets, 6 parking and 43 traffic tickets. That was an increase of 10 tickets from last month. On Saturday, July 30th, at approximately 10:30 p.m., our officers were notified that the PA State Police were responding to I-376 Parkway eastbound for a reported stabbing that had just occurred on a Greyhound bus. Our Churchill officers arrived first and rapidly assessed the situation, where it was determined that the suspect, later identified as Javon Garrett of Detroit, Michigan, was still aboard the bus with some 35 passengers. Thankfully, when confronted, Mr. Garrett surrendered to the officers and was taken into custody quickly and without incident. The victim was transported by EMS to the local trauma center, where she was pronounced deceased. Investigators from the Penn State Police are handling the investigation and will be filing the appropriate criminal charges. Chief Ackerley is also reminding us that it is common this time of year that our department, as well as neighboring departments, are experiencing a significant increase in vehicles being entered overnight and valuables stolen. In every incident reported, the vehicle was left unlocked. For every vehicle stolen, the vehicle is both left unlocked and the keys inside. Residents are reminded to remove all valuables from your vehicle at night or secure them out of view of potential thieves. Always lock your vehicle when parked, even during the daytime. Never leave your keys inside the vehicle when parked for any length of time. Details and other related statistics concerning the police department during the month of July 2023 are reported on the attached police department reports. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, motion to accept the report for July 2023.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you. Any discussion?
question for you, Mr. Mayor. I think you said was being handled by the Penn State Police. Is that supposed to be the Pennsylvania State Police?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for either the mayor or the chief under this report? Got them both here.
I just want to, this one, we're down to 4 cars now.
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh about that.
It brings a weird smile because, right, it's comical,
That is,
you know, but on the other hand, just wishing everybody safe as they continue to work. You know, when you hear a homicide, it takes a step back. We don't really have that kind of thing here, and then you'll go, right, I get it, you know, not that it's any better, but it wasn't inside the borough
Yeah.
itself kind of thing. To that, and I would also just, a little unrelated, but offer our prayers to the families in Plum.
and
over
that
the ex-
our officer wasn't injured, yes.
in the explosion.
Officers were not injured, yeah.
That's just a horrifying situation. I'm sorry, any other discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? And the mayor's report is accepted without opposition. Moving on to the treasurer's report and paying the bills.
Mr. President, I motion to accept the treasurer's report for July 31st, 2023, and direct the finance officer to pay the bills for the Borough of Churchill accrued since July 10th, 2023.
Second,
Any discussion? You know, you all don't remember last meeting, I bet, but as a matter of discussion, we always read through the bills that are above, generally, they give us numbers, they give about 5,000 to 10,000. Normally, I would read that, but I recognize that we have our finance sheriff who's more than capable of reading those things for us on the report, so I will turn that over for her.
we could make a separate motion that the president should read them.
If I entertain that motion.
Who wants to motion it?
You wanna play that game? I'm here for it, man. I don't think I can set that down, actually, so it's a procedural.
All right, so larger bills over $5,000 are Alcazar services ending June 15th, 2023 for $169,781.37. Gateway services for July of 2023, $28,969.40. Bigliotti Landscape and Construction, $15,560.16. And White Heating Inc. For diagnostics, repairs, and our new AC is $11,706.55.
I heard you pick up that pace right away. Any other further discussion? You went right ahead. Any further discussion?
Did I do a good job at it?
You know, you did so good, you get it next month too.
Oh, lucky me.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the treasurer's report and bills to be paid are accepted without opposition. Thank you very much. Appreciate that very much. Moving on to number 7.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt resolution 4569 of the Borough of Churchill, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Wilkins Township to assist with sanitary lateral sewer line inspections.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
I'll go ahead, Janet. Yeah, second. Any discussion on the matter?
Just as a matter of course, you know, this is in relation to the lateral ordinance that was passed, and that the staff member over in Wilkins Township has all the certifications to review, you know, the video and determine if there's any repairs that need to be made. So while our folks will be working with them, it didn't make sense to have multiple people have to go out and keep up certifications, based on the demand and volume between our two municipalities. So it's a great opportunity to work together and be efficient and also, cost everyone a little bit less money.
What was the cost of it?
Outstanding. Hopefully the first of a couple different joint ventures.
Mhm.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I had a question.
What was the cost of the inspection?
So the cost will be $40, I believe.
They will charge us 35,
Yep.
and we'll charge the residents a total of 40. That's the next resolution.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's number 8 on the schedule. So
Madam, I-
Good question.
you-
No, it's a good
You
question.
give us just about another minute, I will answer your question, and not just, speculatively, but in declarative statements of the vote, no less.
Gotcha.
Any other discussion on the matter?
Yeah, thank you for doing that, guys. Thank you.
Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed?
No.
And motion carries with one opposition. Moving on to number 8.
Mr. President, I would motion to adopt resolution 4570, Borough of Churchill, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, updating the Borough of Churchill 2023 fee schedule to include the new $40 for sanitary lateral sewer line inspections.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion other than to say there's the answer to your question?
Thank you, sir.
Assuming that the vote passes. If the vote doesn't pass, then it wouldn't answer your question. Any other discussion?
Just in related to these two items, I guess I would just remind folks that we'll be having a open house discussion with some folks from the infrastructure committee available next Tuesday. That will be between 4 to 7 p.m. In the Yeagle room, escaping for a moment. So if anyone does have questions on that, or, again, thinking about selling their house, coming up, or have, friends or family that might be looking to move into the borough and have questions on that, we will be available next Tuesday, Yeagle room, 4 to 7.
What day is next Tuesday? Like what number?
22nd.
22nd.
22nd, August 22nd. Thank you.
Outstanding. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Opposed?
No.
And motion carries with one opposition. Moving on to number 9.
Mr. President, I move to adopt resolution 4571 of the Borough of Churchill, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, accepting the resignation of Churchill Borough Police or Patrol Officer Christopher R. Shell.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
We're sorry to see him go
Yes, great officer.
and hope that he, has all the success in the world and, we thank him for all of his service. We've had many positive comments about Christopher and wish him well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yes.
can't say it much better than that, Diane. The only thing I'd add is we're blessed that we have many positive comments about all of our officers.
100%.
True that. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? And motion passes without opposition. Moving on to number 10.
All right, motion to adopt resolution 4572 of the Borough of Churchill, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, stating the borough's intention to be included in the Allegheny County Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Programs for 3 program years, 2024, 2025, and 2026.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Other than just to say for a matter of record that this allows us to apply for and be part of the CDBG grant programs. We have in the past been able to use them to help with things like making our building more accessible. And as such, we hope to find other ways in which we can use that grant to better the residents' access to services here. Any other discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries without opposition. Moving on to number 11.
Motion to adopt resolution 4573 of the Borough of Churchill, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, allowing for overhead banners or sign or banner across a Pennsylvania state highway or within the highway right of way.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Again, I think this is part of the lessons of community day type space. In order for us to be able to have that kind of banner, this was the kind of step that for next year that we do this now so that we're able to do that kind of over the road type of banner that really tells people what a wonderful, and I'll just get an extra plug throw in for our rec board and comms folks both. What a wonderful community day that we had. And so that would just add to that. Any other discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries without opposition. Moving on to number 12.
Motion to adopt resolution 4574 of the Borough of Churchill, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, authorizing the approval of a 5-year winter traffic services agreement with PennDOT.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Just as a, matter of general information, I think there was some confusion when this went out. So this is not, money that Churchill is spending. This is money that Churchill is paid, for maintaining some of the roadways and ramps, that we take care of. The way this works is that, PennDOT has such a large network. If we were to leave it to just them and say, yeah, come with your plow trucks, it might be 2-3 days before they came through and got, different parts of the exit ramps on the parkway and Beulah Road. So basically, we take care of that with our crews. We're reimbursed for it, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Thank you. Excellent explanation. I actually meant to flip those for the banners we have, and not that one, since it's a specific one. All right, is there any other discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries without opposition. For clarity, we are pulling number 13, so there's no motion to table, no motion has been made. That is something that we will bring back as soon as we are able to. But as we said, we had some other conversations on this, and so we can pull it off real quick. We're gonna move on to number 14.
Mr. President, I move to award a contract for the Churchill Borough Radar Speed Feedback Signs Installation Project Global Share Account Grant to Traffic Systems and Services LLC for $25,170.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
We've spoken about this a number of times, but, I'd just be remiss if I didn't say thank you again to Senator Jay Costa for working on getting us that grant funding. It's, been in the pipeline for quite a bit of time here, and then we, of course, had to go back and bid it, a few other things. But as many of these things go, they take a little bit of time. Sometimes there's some red tape, but we're getting to the finish line on this one, and, excited to get these signs up and help with the traffic and slow things down.
I would just add that Beulah Road has been a major concern on the part of our police force and our citizens. And, I'm grateful that we finally have a mechanism that we hope will make a significant difference in speeding on that road.
Yeah, I hope this is the first of many steps that we're able to take to the point of our senator. Our state senator has been instrumental not only in this, but in being willing to help us through the issues of traffic calming and others. And so he, of course, again, on my plugs towards our rec board and Commonwealth Community Day, was there at Community Day and did have a discussion on this matter as well. And he is invested in making sure that Churchill is a safe community is in regards to traffic, not just all the other ways that we have been safe. Any other discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And motion carries without opposition. Moving us on to number 15.
Mr. President, I motion to sell the model year 2011 Ford F-250 Public Works truck with plow and salt spreader via the Municipid online auction.
Second.
I'm staying with the. It takes a lot to beat Matt when he's in for it. Any discussion on the matter? It's relatively self-explanatory that, move out one older truck,
Got a new one.
get the new stuff. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I saw the mouth move even if you're on mute. Don't worry, I got you, bro. You pulled it out after. All righty, any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries. That moves us through the items and then questions of discussion. I will work our way through some of our staff first, make sure we have a discussion that needs to be hit, and then move forward. Beginning with our engineer.
Thank you, Mr. President. No new updates from our report submitted unless there's any questions.
Thank you. Looking online to our chief.
No, sir, I have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thanks for all that you do. Mr. Solicitor.
No report, Mr. President.
I do not see, of course, Ralph. And so I will move to the borough manager.
Ralph is on.
I don't see Ralph.
I apologize if we promote him.
Yeah.
I know he's-
Okay, 1 second, Ralph. We'll come right back to you.
I know he's very excited to talk to you.
This
There you go.
there you go. Ralph, I'm trying to duck you, sir. So as far as fire public works.
Okay, under fire department, we're up past 300 calls right now for the year. Just to make everybody aware, we're trying to get a hold of the state and make them aware of that bad bend on the Parkway East past the Monroeville exit, Business 22 exit. In the last year and a half, we have responded to over 80 calls there. So we're trying to get them to get some signs up or put some anti-skid or something on that part of the parkway because it's just getting worse. Over the weekend, we responded to 2 calls there. One was wet, one was dry. So it's just a problem area out there. So we want to get it addressed as soon as possible. Under public works, the guys are this week, they're out doing sewer cleanings, catch basin cleaning. So you'll see them around the Vector truck all week. We'll be out and about in all different areas of the borough doing that. And that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, sir. Let's add that to our Wednesday conversation.
Yeah.
So that I can move that with government management, and maybe have a conversation with both Jay and Abigail on that issue.
Yes, sir.
Add
Yes,
that to the agenda. I appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Moving on to manager, sir.
There's a lot of things in the binder to cover, but a few things I want to highlight. One we're preparing and finalizing the bid for public works services. Of course, Vigliotti's our contractor now for the primary provider of public works services. As you know, there's a number of other services like the sweeper truck or McKinley with landscaping. So it's just as a one vendor, but the primary vendor for public works is Vigliotti. We're bidding that out for a 3-year contract. Stay tuned on electric vehicle chargers and electric vehicles. I know we've talked a lot about that. There's some funding programs we're going after, including looking at the potential of doing what West Mifflin and other communities have done, which is get some Ford pickup truck electric vehicles for the police departments. And if we can get funding for that, we'll seek to pursue that. And of course, it's been challenging enough to get regular police vehicles. I think the chief will take anything right now that can move. We have a Dodge Durango that we've ordered a long time ago, and as the chief has mentioned through the report, and the mayor that gave us this evening, we had another vehicle that was totaled. Not our driver's fault. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. But when they drive as many hours as they do, the possibility of them being involved in accidents, is high because of that. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be applying to state grants. We're working with Duquesne Light on charging, understanding how to do charging. There will be a public side to that. So other people could come and charge, and we'll talk about those as we get into different committees and work that through. But there's a lot in the binder. There's a lot going on in the communities. The committees are doing a tremendous amount of work. There's no way we could in an evening even highlight all the different community activities. I think budget's gonna be a big deal over the next month or two.
Yeah,
And I'll
very
let
good deal.
you handle that, but please stay tuned for those, especially the charging, the EVs. There's a lot going on. As many of you know, federal funds are becoming available like no other time. And we're doing all the preliminary work we need to be in line for those.
Thank you, Alex, for that.
Excellent. And just for a little clarification for myself, as we prepare for that, you said in terms of pickup truck, just walk.
Yeah, so the Ford has, you can get Teslas that are sedans for EVs, and we're not terribly interested in those. But like, for example, West Mifflin has I'm not sure what they're calling them other than their Lightning is their name, but what the equivalent is.
The Lightning 150s.
Yeah, 150, yeah.
And then if I'm correct, just to make sure that we're on the same page, especially looking kind of forward, that that Chevy has the Blazers that are pursuit vehicles.
Okay, so we'll look at those. Right now, we're trying to build up the pricing of those.
Right.
We did, with the Duquesne Light, a fleet analysis, how to transition from ICE, internal combustion engines, to EVs, the electrical vehicles. And, we have a small fleet, so it's not as comprehensive as you might imagine in a larger community, but at the same time, we have to have the infrastructure. And what Duquesne Light is telling us, on their side, they're willing to commit, I think it's about $45,000 on their side of getting the infrastructure there. And then we're looking at the fast charging stations, with rebates, looking right now at about a $9,000 cost, but we want to get grants to see if we can even minimize that exposure as well.
And I mean, I was looking at it, but I'm also super interested in this just generally. What does it look like in terms of a transition period to make that kind of change based on the grant funding that's coming available to the actual operational space of purchasing vehicles and having a charging station?
The paperwork that Duquesne Light is providing to us, even as of today, there's a possibility at the beginning of 2025, we have both an electrical vehicle and a charging station.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Infrastructure.
You don't want it in 2024, you want it in 2025, and that's just a kind of side note that they have settled on, what will be every Betamax VCR war that's ever happened, right? And so what the charging mechanism has been settled as the industry standard. That's actually won that war.
Yep.
And so that's, Ford and Chevy moving to 2025 will all have the same
Same charger.
chargers and
Yep.
everything else, so that's great news.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Thank you for all your work. It's really
Yeah.
important
Thanks,
stuff.
That's really awesome.
It's a team effort. Ralph, Ashley and Michelle were all involved in doing the data collections and reporting with Duquesne Light and their consultants to do these studies. And we've included those in the binders, but stay tuned because there's a lot happening. Deadlines we're gonna have to hit to submit grants and so forth.
Gotcha. Yeah. Alrighty, anything else, sir? So, moving through then, go to Mr. Mayor, and then we'll hit council and let everybody go do something.
Thank you, Mr. President. The top thing on my mind tonight is the successful event that we had this past weekend, August 12th, on the Bay School lawn of our community day. There was a lot of effort and hours put in that by the rec department to pull that off. There was a steady stream of people coming through there all day long. It just, everyone I talked to had nothing but positive things to say. And I can't say enough about, everyone, member that rec board, the time and effort that they put in to pull that out. You just don't realize how much it was, especially Michael and Joe. They're so technical about running that whole operation. I can't say enough about that. And I also want to thank the EMS for coming over with their vehicles. The fire department, the police department showed up, the Chevy, we had a lot of things going on that day. So it was really a fantastic day for us. And already they're planning for 2024. The other thing I want to mention was I wanted to thank the chief. He had detailed that, the last car that we just sold. He detailed that car, cleaned it all up, had it on the municipal bid, and I think we sold it for a little over $10,000. I want to thank the chief for, putting the time and effort into that.
Thank you.
And my understanding is that that's something that he did of his own
Yes,
volition,
yes.
just to
Took the
give
car
the
home,
emphasis of, right,
took it home.
let everybody understand, right?
Work on it, yeah.
So cannot thank him enough there. Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
No, that's it, I'm sorry.
Starting online, then we'll move in the room, then it's between us and home. So Brooke, anything on the table you'd like to discuss?
So I have a question regarding pedestrian walkways on Greensburg Pike with the installation of the radar signs and the fact that the road is now paved. Is there a plan to put back the pedestrian walkways or paint them?
I can reach out to the county, particularly now that school's starting, to see if I'm not sure if the signal, if they can do those there in Marbury or down at the other signal towards the funeral home in Lewin Lane, if they can be done there as well. But that would be their responsibility. I'll make sure to reach out to them and see if they can paint those there.
Sure, I think it's great. And Brooke, you certainly can reach out to the county. It sounds like you have a good connection there. So
My understanding is that based on the agreement that we had with the county, that we were going to paint those walkways.
where are you getting that from? I'm sorry.
It was from a letter that was sent to the borough back in November or October of last year, that we would put the pedestrian walkways back. They were going to paint the actual lanes on Greensburg Pike, but we would paint the pedestrian walkways. So I'll revisit that letter just to ensure that I am speaking correctly. The second thing that I wanted to mention is that I stated last week, the first day of school for Woodland Hills School District is Wednesday, August 23rd. There will be a series of open houses the following week. So on Tuesday, August 29th, the district will be hosting an open house for Turtle Creek, Edgewood, and Wilkins Elementary. It is open to the public, so members of Churchill who have children who are considering potentially sending their children to the Woodland Hills School District, this is an opportunity for you to go into the school and see what they're doing. As well as the high school will be having an open house the following day, Wednesday, August 30th, from 6 to 8 p.m. So it's open to the public as well.
Thank you.
Any other workaround? We've got online still, so Deb is next up. You're muted, Deb. I know you're saying the most important things, but none of us can hear you.
Still muted, Deb.
I'm gonna click the.
There you go. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yeah.
now? Okay. I was about to say, just for a minute, I want to jump on what Mayor Gamrat said about Community Day and what a tremendous job the rec board did putting it together. As well as I want to thank the over 50 volunteers who came out through the community to help us out. We couldn't have done it without them because we needed people everywhere, and they came out and just did a tremendous job. I also want to thank Pace School allowing us to use their lawn. It's a perfect place to have it, and we do appreciate that they are part of our community and want to help out well. And one other announcement, sort of, I want to say is that I want to let you know that we have an intern for the Climate Action Committee for the school year this year. Her name, I want to welcome Jessica Fortino. She is a Penn State student, and she will be working with our climate action plan the whole year and probably will be starting in the next week or two. So I do want to welcome her, and we're very excited to have her aboard and help us out. And that's it.
Fantastic. Appreciate your comments and your points. Moving in the room, anybody's got, I'll start on Andrea, move our way through, and then, there we go.
No, I just want to again thank for everybody who participated in Community Days, because it was a fantastic event. We had some very Salisbury came, Representative Salisbury came, we had the new magistrate Caulfield come. Bethany Helen come, Erica Bressler's come, and they said that this is one of the best that they've seen, and they go to them all the time throughout the county. And they said this was fantastic, and I just really appreciate the hard work that everyone had did and continue to do during the event. So thank you, everybody.
Excellent.
I would say echo the same thanks, and I don't know that I can add a whole lot more. I will say, while I was at the event for Community Day, I know that the volunteer firefighters, had the truck out for kids and stuff to see, but they were also talking to folks, if you're interested in volunteering for the fire company or being a firefighter or helping in any way, they had some information available on that. And if you are thinking about that, I would just encourage you to check out their website and, maybe possibly attend one of the meetings and see what it's all about.
Excellent.
I'm going to also echo Community Day. It was awesome. It was a very hot day, but everybody had so much fun. I was able to talk to residents, which was really nice. I brought my son with me. He loved the fire truck quite a bit. He spent a lot of time there. It was just really nice overall. I went to the last one and I felt like this one felt bigger, a lot more people, a lot more residents involved, a ton of volunteers, a ton of games. It was just really welcoming and really nice and awesome food. So thank you, Deb. I know you worked really, really hard on this and the rest of the rec board. So I wanted to say thank you. And staff for pushing it out. I know social media, there was Facebook, our communications committee had lots of ideas on how to make sure that everybody heard about the Community Day. So thank you.
Yes, I want to also jump on that as well. Michelle and Ashley did a tremendous job helping us promote it, getting signage, everything together, and we all really appreciate that. And I appreciate the council. Almost everyone from the council was there, meeting and greeting and talking to everybody. And I think our residents appreciated that as well. So it was just all in all a great day, and we totally lucked out with the weather. So that was terrific too.
We did.
And Vice President, you being home?
Yes, well, I just ditto what everybody else said. I've been on the council for quite a while and been to all of the community days, and this one was just stellar. The volunteers, the number of volunteers, their dedication, how well organized they were. We really could not have asked for more. And, I just do need to say too, on a different note, I think people have been hearing the last year and more, the increasing stress and demand on our public safety staff, our police officers, our firefighters. They do a tremendous job, and people often say that, we don't have that much crime here. Well, just about the time you say that, you have something like what happened on the Parkway, that our officers got to first. So I just want to commend them and thank them, and so all of you know that we have some very special people working for us here.
All right, that leaves me going home. 10-second version of the world. Community Day, outstanding. Right? I don't have anything to say on top of what everybody else has said. Daughter still loves it. I will say one thing though, so that it's recorded and on the record, right? That is the Churchill community.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that has happened kind of across the country through the COVID space, right, and through a lot of the kind of politics of this, is a lot of ridiculous backbiting, being argumentative for no reason but to be argumentative, like that kind of mentality, right? And that's not who we are. We've talked about it before. We went through this with the Amazon, we went through other things. What you saw on Community Day is who we are, right? People, when we're face to face, nice to each other and kind and willing to help each other, right? It doesn't matter what you thought about X or Y, right? You see something, you're having a good time, the kids are playing. That's why we're here. Anybody who's not here for something else is probably in the wrong place, right? Because this is who we are. So to that end, that happens because we have the volunteers that we have, because we have the community members that we have, and I thank all of them for all that they do. I will say one thing to the rec board, I said this the last time that we had the full community day, right? When you're thinking about like your budget and that kind of thing, really, the time that you wanna come to council and say like, hey, here's what we're thinking, is why we're doing this whole thing where everybody gives you accolades all the way across the board. So you may wanna think about that as you start to
Right
try to
now.
put together, as you
Right
start to
now.
put together your budget, right?
Fine.
You know, so
Now.
put that out in the world to my wonderful people at the rec board. And I'm still willing to sit the dunk tank. I think it's a great fundraiser.
Or pie, we talked about pie.
I'll do the pie. I prefer the dunk tank. All right, having said that, I would entertain unless there's something else, a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All right, game set match. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful August.